Thank you, Ronnie. Howie Smith will be the next speaker. This is Howie's son.
Hi, I'm Howie. I've got big shoes to fill today. My family's asked me to thank the out-of-town guests that came today for this memorial. Aunt June Lynn from Regina, Cousin Rita from Regina, Cousin Howard Lynn from California, Cousin Martin Lynn from Victoria, Uncle Ray from Invermere, Cousin Wanda and Eric from Hinton, Cousin Brenda and John from Victoria, and Aunt Mark from Calgary. Just want to say thank you for coming. Also from our family, I want to thank everyone that called and visited my dad and helped him in this last year. My dad accomplished a lot during his life, and my dad had a strong will. You guys might have bumped into it every once in a while. He had a strong will, and when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, we also told him that the possibility might be that he'll have a grandson. And my dad put his mind to it, and he didn't want to talk about being sick. He avoided it altogether. And my dad, you talk about having a big heart. He fought this year to be with his grandson. And you guys supported him through that. So the gratitude that we have as a family, just want to say thank you. There were some other things that went along with being named Howie, was that I had to be a good negotiator with my dad. And he would quite often take me down to the Keeney parking lot to buy Christmas trees. And if you guys thought he was tough at the negotiating table, I felt sorry for the guy selling the Christmas trees. I tell you. Like, if he wasn't trying to work them one way, he was standing over the guy telling him how we better deal. And then we'd get in the car and he'd laugh and he'd say, "Did you think we got him?" My dad taught me about work ethic. I remember going to him one winter and asking him for an allowance. I think I was 6 or 7 years old. And my dad said, "You know what, you gotta go shovel the neighbors' walks for money." And so I went downstairs and grabbed my green shovel and shoveled my neighbors' yards and their walks. And I was probably one of the only 11-year-olds in the Lower Mainland that knew how to drive a forklift. The thing about driving a forklift was my dad never taught me how to put it in reverse real well. And he got me a job at Key Marine, and I was 11 years old working on the docks at Key Marine, and I accidentally went back down to Alexander Street, and I knocked over a telephone pole across the intersection with a slicer forklift. And my dad and Jim McFarland, who owned it, put together a plan so I wouldn't get in trouble. And my dad was a very compassionate man. Across the street from the gear locker, my dad had a lot of respect for the World War II veterans that worked on the longshore. And across the street from the gear locker, there was a homeless man that fought in Korea, and he had shell shock. And my dad always made sure that he had a jacket and he was taken care of. That compassion that he showed him helped me later on in life. I'm manic depressive, and I had some challenges, and my dad supported me all the way through that. And he supported me when I got sober. And if it wasn't for the connections that my father had and the support that I had, I wouldn't be here today and have the life that I have today. He used to always say, put your gratitude in action. What are you doing for somebody else? Put yourself down the list of things, down on the list, and see what you can do for others. And he often told me not to talk too much about the things that I did, that he told me that loose lips sink ships. He never gave me too much flack when the neighborhood bully would try to beat up Doug. And I'd have to stick up for Doug, and it was always these guys that were like 6'4" or 6'5", and I came home with, with a broken nose. My dad never gave me flack. We had an awesome time on family vacations. We had a great time in Barkerville. My parents decided that they were gonna rent a motorhome. And I found out that day how much my dad truly loved my mom. My dad was outside trying to fix the pipe and hook up the sewage, and my mom decided to flush the toilet at the same time. I have never heard cursing. I know my dad's longshoreman, but I've heard cursing, but I've never heard cursing like that. I don't think I'll ever will either. Growing up with Dougie, we fought like cats and dogs, and lots of times we put each other in the hospital. And my dad, he was a good referee between us, and he did it with love. And he talked to me a lot about unity, and he guided me in my management career, and he guided me to be a shop steward where I worked. And he always said to me, when the tide rises for one ship in the harbor, it rises for all. So again, I want to say thank you from our family for all the cards, the phone calls, the well wishes, the flowers, and everybody for showing up here today and showing your respects. Thank you.